Welcome back to the channel, The English Castle. Today we are going to learn certain words, what they mean, and when do we use it. जब हम कोई काम अक्सर करते हैं, हमेशा करते हैं, कोई काम जब हम रेगुलरली करते हैं, so I will say always. I will use always. I always visit my parents on a Sunday. I always eat out when I am traveling. I always call my friends when I need help. So always is hamesha. Another word is for always is usually. Usually. I usually eat out when I'm hungry. I usually have non-vegetarian food when I eat outside. We usually go out for dinners with the friends. So usually, always, frequently, and often. They all mean aksar, zyadatar, adhiktar. So often, I often go out for walks on on in the mornings. I often eat homemade food. I often help others whenever I feel they need it. So often. Then it's like 50-50. The next word is like very like maybe, maybe not 50-50. So sometimes. कभी कभी आप ये काम करते हैं. Sometimes, occasionally, rarely, and seldom. So sometimes, occasionally, rarely, and seldom. Kabhi kabhi. So I seldom call my friends. I rarely go out for dinners. I occasionally go out for weddings. I sometimes go out for weddings. So seldom, rarely, occasionally, they all mean something same. Then hardly ever, बिल्कुल भी नहीं, hardly ever या फिर never. We should never speak to someone who backbites. We should never speak to somebody who is manipulative. it I have I ever come across a person who is very honest. So here hardly ever means kabhi bhi nahi. I never eat outside. I never have non-vegetarian food. We never come home late. We are always in time. So these are the different ways of saying never. So today we learned the ways to say hamesha, always, sometimes, kabhi kabhar, and never, or rarely, never or hardly ever means kabhi nahi. So these are different ways of saying it. Let's learn some more phrases and words which will help us in our daily conversation. So, suppose you have worked with somebody and you meet them after a long time, or you call up your friends after years just to catch up with them and want to know more about them. So, when we say, "What are you up to these days?" What are you up to these days? It means tell me about your recent life. आजकल तुम क्या कर रहे हो? आजकल क्या चल रहा है? कौन सी जॉब में हो? कौन से शहर में हो? या फिर आजकल आप कौन सी पढ़ाई कर रहे हो? कौन से कॉलेज में पढ़ रहे हो? सो व्हाट आर यू अप टू दीज डेज? या फिर आप कॉलेज में एक साथ पढ़ते थे पर अब बहुत साल के बाद आप लोग एक दूसरे से बात कर रहे हैं, तो शादी हो गई, बच्चे हो गए, कहाँ रहते हो, कहाँ जॉब कर रहे हो, or you have worked together and now you don't know what the other person is doing. So what are you up to these days? Which means आजकल क्या चल रहा है. So, what are you up to these days? I have my own company now. I have started my own classes. So, I haven't seen you for ages. What are you up to these days? I'm still working for the same company. So, here, this means, what are you up to these days? Sorry to interrupt, which means मैं बीच में कुछ बोलना चाहता हूँ और उसके लिए मैं माफी मांगती हूँ. So sorry to interrupt you, but I would like to know, has the bride arrived? Okay. Sorry to interrupt you. Can you please tell me where is the food served? Sorry to interrupt you, but Mr. Morco wants to see you right now. Tuesday is a holiday, so dot 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 your boss is saying something and you just promptly say sorry to interrupt you, but Wednesday is a holiday, not Tuesday. So sorry to interrupt you means मैं माफी चाहता हूँ बीच में बोलने के लिए. Sorry to interrupt you. On top of that means इसके अलावा या इसके साथ. On top of that, I'm working so hard. I'm trying to do the best and make the ends meet. And on top of that, you are telling me I'm doing nothing. I have two children, a full-time job, and on top of that, I take classes in the evening as well. So that means iske alawa. I know how to drive a taxi. I have 3 years of experience. I know the city very well. And on top of that, I can speak 5 foreign languages. So here, on top of that means iske alawa ya iske साथ साथ. Also, I know how to bake cakes and cookies. And on top of that, I am a wonderful chef as well.